guilty in Montgomery County Court. Mackenzie Hellman faces up to 45 years for these charges. Earlier this year, Hellman was found guilty for committing sex crimes against the child. The boy's mother, Kayla Thomas, was sentenced on similar charges and received 2 life sentences plus 10 years in prison. Sentencing for Hellman is scheduled for August 10th. Fire officials are working to find out how almost half an acre at a landfill in Pulaski County burned. Authorities say the fire started around 5 this morning. According to emergency management, the flames are contained and have been turned back over to the landfill. They are advising nearby residents with respiratory issues to be careful before heading out until all the smoke clears. Police in Southwest Virginia as well as Central Virginia are investigating after several shootings over the weekend. 2 of those happened in Lynchburg, 2 nights in a row. Police say shots were fired on Gray Street and at least 2 people were hurt in one of them. In Roanoke, a woman was taken to the hospital Saturday night after a shooting in Northwest. Early Saturday morning, 10 News was downtown as multiple officers searched the scene of shots fired incident. No injuries were reported there. In Carroll County, deputies are still looking for this man, Denny Williams, after they say he was involved in a shooting that sent 1 man to the hospital. One other person, Bobby Lashell, was taken into custody for his alleged involvement in the shooting in Ivanhoe. We've got more information on each of these incidents on WSLS.com. Virginia State Police is investigating a deadly car crash that left 1 man dead in Pittsylvania County. It happened Thursday on Ringgold Depot Road at the intersection of Sandy Creek Church Road. State Police says 46-year-old Andrew Henderson was driving west when his car ran off the right side of the road and hit a tree. Authorities say he was not wearing a seatbelt. The House Select Committee will hold its first hearing tomorrow with Capitol Police, who responded to the deadly January 6th riot at the Capitol. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced she's appointing GOP Representative Adam Kinzinger to the committee investigating that attack. The Republican congressman from Illinois joins the other Republican on the committee, Liz Cheney of Wyoming. The 2 are both outspoken critics of the former president and were among the 10 House Republicans to vote for his second impeachment. Happening this afternoon, President Biden and the Iraqi Prime Minister will meet to discuss an agreement about ending U.S. combat in Iraq. The 2 leaders will meet in the Oval Office around 2 this afternoon, and we're going to stream that meeting on WSLS.com. As more states see a rise in the Delta variant, the CDC says it could soon advise people to start wearing masks indoors again. So far, nearly half the country remains unvaccinated, and the South makes up a majority of new cases. Texas, Arkansas, and Florida make up 4 in 10 new infections. Almost 99% of all deaths and hospitalizations are in people who have not been vaccinated. The CDC says it's trying to predict how fast the variant may spread.
Models that the CDC put out estimate that there's going to be anywhere from 10,000 infections a day over the course of that week to 100,000 infections a day, which really is an indication that they don't have a good sense where we're heading with this outbreak.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says he fears those unvaccinated could put others at risk, allowing the virus to further mutate. The Franklin County School Board will hold a special meeting today. The board will discuss its mask mandate for the upcoming school year. Last week, the state said local school districts will have the final say on whether students and staff will need to wear a mask. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill spent the weekend hammering out final details of a bipartisan infrastructure deal. Money for water and transportation-related projects are the biggest things lawmakers are working to come to an agreement on. Virginia Senator Mark Warner says he's optimistic enough Republicans will support the measure for it to move forward. He also hopes a voting rights measure will make it to the president's desk. The American Heart Association released 5 ways you can keep your heart safe in extreme heat. First, they say watch the clock. Try to avoid going outside between noon and 3. As experts say, the sun is typically at its strongest during those hours, and you're more at risk for heat-related illness. Another precaution, dress for the heat. That means wear lightweight clothing and make sure to put on water-resistant sunscreen with an SPF of at least 15. They also say stay hydrated by drinking water before, during, and after going outside. You also want to avoid caffeinated and alcoholic drinks and take regular breaks in the shade. Finally, doctors say take your medications as prescribed.
Most people probably do them already, but it's also just being mindful of it, and especially that hydration part. That's the thing. If we can hammer anything into your head more than anything, is stay hydrated. It's amazing what water can do for your body, and especially when the temperatures get up into the 80s and 90s.
Experts say the heat can also impact the health of expectant mothers. For signs and treatment for heat stroke and heat exhaustion, head to our website, WSLS.com.
Your local weather authority, always watching and tracking for you from the JES Weather Center.
And we've got that typical combination of heat and humidity, allowing for some cumulus clouds to develop. From our Roanoke-Blacksburg Regional Airport Skycam, it is a hot one so far in Roanoke. 89 degrees at the lunch hour, Lynchburg at 88. Blacksburg and Martinsville currently at 84 degrees. The only relief from that comes in the form of spotty downpours. You see one south of Lexington moving to the east, another right on the Amherst and Nelson County line. Got some downpours heading toward Troutville and Fincastle, and then as you head into the NRV, a couple storms, one of which is trying to move into Rich Creek, and then very spotty showers and thunderstorms beginning to develop in Wythe and Pulaski counties. Now, this is one part of the area where we don't want to see storms later this evening because the NRV fair kicks off 6 to 10 p.m. You're looking at temperatures falling from the lower 80s to the low to mid 70s. Just got to watch out for very spotty showers and storms by then. Future trackers showing that especially as these move east of the Parkway, they'll start to gain a little oomph to them. So you could see localized flooding, localized wind damage between the hours of about 2 and 8 p.m. east of the Blue Ridge Parkway. We'll fast forward to about 5 p.m. and notice at this point, most of our scattered storms are going to start to target areas near and to the south of US 460. Could even see a couple downpours beyond sunset, but after midnight, the chance for storms will start to go down and we'll be left with patches of fog, especially in areas that do see storms. Hillsville and Pulaski 65 tomorrow morning, Bedford, Alta Vista, Lynchburg 71 at sunrise, Rocky Mount and Roanoke at about 69 and perhaps even warmer as we head into the day tomorrow with humidity intact. Lexington at 93, South Boston and Danville 91, Blacksburg at 88, Pulaski at about 89. And a little bit of that is feeding off the heat that they'll see farther out to the west of the plains. Areas like the Texas and Louisiana, Arkansas, all under heat alerts as we go throughout the week thanks to a big dome of high pressure. That means sinking air and big time heat in the central U.S., some of that extending this far east. In fact, looking at highs mainly in the 90s Wednesday and Thursday, could be some of the hottest air we've felt so far this year, but I do not think we're going to have a heat advisory in effect. That would happen if you would have a heat index of 105 to 109 for 2 hours straight. And the reason why I don't think that's going to happen is because the humidity will actually be fairly tolerable by Wednesday and Thursday. Even though, yes, the temperature will rise perhaps more than it has all year, the humidity won't be as bad. It comes back into the picture by Friday before coming back down again a little bit as we head into the weekend. So we're in the thick of it here the last few days of July. Temperatures today in the upper 80s to near 90 in places like Roanoke and Lynchburg. Even in the NRV, we're warming up pretty quickly. Just watch out for some scattered showers and storms because where they do develop, they're feeding off that heat and humidity. Temperature 92 in the Roanoke Valley tomorrow. We're in the middle 90s or low to mid 90s, I should say, Wednesday and Thursday. A few scattered storms will be possible by Friday with humidity levels dropping off a little bit for the weekend. Even still, you're looking at high temperatures of about 85 to 90 degrees. So mostly hot and mostly dry throughout the week. But with those storms in the forecast, make sure you have a way to get alerts by downloading your local Weather Authority app. Just look up WSLS 10 Weather in your phone's app store. Patrick?
WSLS 10 in your town, sponsored by Bank of Botetourt.
We're making our 7th stop in our In Your Town series, and this week it's all about APPOMATTOX. From history to outdoor adventure, APPOMATTOX has something for everyone. For a fun night out, enjoy Wolfbane Productions. The Performing Arts Center brings all kinds of live shows and experiences. There are plenty of other hidden gems, and we plan to highlight those for you along the way this week. This is all leading up to Friday nights when we're going to be there live starting at 5, showing you everything APPOMATTOX has to offer. We're going to have more In Your Town coverage coming up tomorrow morning on Virginia Today as Chris brings us Tasty Tuesday. He's visiting a nice food truck there, Egyptian food, he says, that you sure don't want to miss. Day 3 of the Tokyo Olympics is underway. So far, the U.S. and Japan are taking the lead for gold medals. We'll give you a breakdown of where we stand this afternoon with the medal count, and it looks like Japan now out ahead with the gold medals at 8, followed by the U.S. at 7. China has 6. China leading the overall count with 18, followed by the U.S. at 14. A look at some of the bigger events you can watch on WSLS 10 this afternoon. Enjoy the men's canoe slalom, basketball 3-on-3, swimming, and then beach volleyball. And we do want to remind you, because of all of this coverage of the Olympics, Days of Our Lives is on hiatus, taking off for the next 2 weeks. You're not going to miss a single second. They just hit pause. They'll pick things back up when the show returns to the air coming up on August 9th. Finally, this afternoon, the New River Valley Fair is getting underway later today. You and the family can enjoy the rides, food, entertainment, and a whole lot more. Admission is $7 for adults. Children 7 to 11 pay $3, with kids 6 and under getting in for free. That fair runs through Saturday. A lot of families really do enjoy heading out to the fair.
Yeah, always a nice time. Glad to have it back. You know, we had the Salem Fair a few weeks ago, so now it's our turn in the New River Valley, so looking forward to it.
Thank goodness they're returning. We're going to have updates on all the day's top stories available for you throughout the day on WSLS.com and the 10 News mobile app. That is our time together here on WSLS.com. We thank you for spending part of your lunch hour with us. We'll see you back here at 5 with our 90 minutes of local news. Have a great afternoon.